Kingdom family, kingdom family, what's up? What's good, everybody? Oh my gosh, I am so excited to be here with you all. I am back in the US for a very quick moment right now from being in Bali, again, with so many of you. And I'm actually currently right now in Alabama. I'm in my cousin's room. She just got married. I was in Alabama at her wedding last night. And this is in her old bedroom now as she goes and moves in with her husband in her new life. And so it's a really special place for me to be in this session with you all, which is, I think many of you all saw, this is going to be, or this is rather, our final session of the kingdom for this season until the new year. And I'll tell you more about that in a moment. But I'm so excited and so grateful to be here with all of you. Hello, Laura. Hello, Cheryl. Hello, Jessica and Renee and Marilyn and Donna Mae and MT and Lori and Sandy and Yatilli. Hello, everybody. If this is your first time coming to the kingdom, I want you to type the words first time into the chat box so that we all know that you're here, and this community will welcome you with a big open heart and with big open arms. And regardless if it's your first time or not, I would love for you all to type in where you're coming in from so we can see this community coming together from all over the world here for this session of the kingdom. And this session today is very special. I've been really looking forward to teaching this to you all for actually over a month now, and it's perfect for our final session of the season together. And this session is all about the power of receiving, the power of receiving, and how we can actually get what it is that we really want to receive out of life, how we can actually open up our hands to be ready to receive that which we actually want to experience from life, and how we can open up our hearts to be ready to welcome in that which we say we want from life. And so this is going to be a very powerful session. Make sure you have your notebooks handy because you're probably going to want to take some notes for this session. And with my whole heart, it is a great honor to be on this journey with you. I'm so excited for what's to come in our next season of the kingdom. And I'm going to start here with a few simple announcements. All right, so a few simple announcements here. So first announcement, that is obvious because I've said it about 3 times already, is this session right now is going to be our last live session of the kingdom of this year. And the reason why is because, as I like to do, as we go through a cycle of seasons, so we've done 16 episodes every other week. So we're at about 6 months or more than that, actually, of episodes. We started in April of this year, coming until October. And what I like to do in these cycles is to be able to go in, refresh, get with my team and see how we want to serve you in the next chapter of what's coming in the new year, based upon everything that everyone's saying, based upon everything that's been happening, based upon travel schedules and all kinds of stuff, and how we are going to engage in the kingdom in the new year. And we'll be coming back stronger and better than ever in the new year, in a whole new way, which I'm very excited about it because it's just going to keep getting better. And I'm so grateful to have all of you here. But even though this is the final Sunday session of the kingdom of this season, we still are going to keep soul study going, okay? We're going to still have soul study going. And so soul study is every Wednesday night. And right now, Trey has been leading those sessions so beautifully. And if you want to join Soul Study, what happens in Soul Study is we take little excerpts, little sections from the kingdom, and then we have conversation about them on Zoom. We see how they apply to our lives and really open up to see how these teachings can be integrated in a deeper way. And even though this Sunday is the last Sunday for the year, what's going to happen is, obviously, for the next 2 weeks of Soul Study, you're going to unpack what we talk about today. And then Trey's going to actually be pulling some of the best of from previous Kingdom episodes, from even previous seasons, to bring some of that work to you all for the remainder of the year so you can keep connecting with one another. And so if you haven't, Soul Study is not automatic. So you have to make sure you actually sign up for Soul Study, and the link is right there, justinmichaelwilliams.com/soul-study. and you'll get your notifications from there. And I know many of you join Soul Study. It's such a sweet community there. And if you want your kingdom fix, you can always go there. And again, it's totally for free. And then finally, many of you, I'm going to put the link in the chat box here in just a second. Many of you are already coming to this, but I want to make sure that you all know that I have a brand new, actually, workshop that I'm teaching at Esalen in Big Sur. I'm trying to do two things at once right now and pull this up for you as I'm talking, and that's not working. So hold on, let me just do this. Okay, so in December, I am teaching at Esalen, which is a very special retreat center in Big Sur. Many of you have been with me or have wanted to go. It's December 16th to the 19th, and the event is called Renew, a ritual of awakening for the new year. And so for those of you who love my Manifest New Year's Eve work, we're going to be diving into that for 4 days at Esalen very deeply, understanding your vision, reflecting on the year past, getting a clear vision for the year ahead with milestones and action plans, and diving into this work a little bit more deeply. And so if you're feeling called to join me at Esalen, this retreat is already filling up, and I would love to have you there. We already have almost 30 people registered. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing many of you there. And so I just put that link in the chat box as well if you're interested in joining. Okay, and so I see you all. Hello and welcome to Julia from Switzerland. Hello, Dory. Hello, everybody who's here. I'm so grateful to be with all of you. So those are all of my announcements for now. We'll have Manifest New Year's Eve coming up this year and all kinds of really fun things to come. But for this final session of this season of the Kingdom, I just want to welcome you with a big open heart and open arms, that this session gives you everything that you need to take you further in your life and on your journey. So let us, sorry, I meant to put a link up here. If you just go to justinmichaelwilliams.com/events, you can get that Esalen link as well. Okay, so let us just take a moment to dive in together with the power of our prayer together. So we know here at the Kingdom, we welcome people of all religious backgrounds. All names of the divine are welcome here, whether you call it God or Spirit or the universe or whatever you call it. We know that it is the same power given different names in many different languages and many different traditions. And so by the God of your own understanding, you can just call that into your space, close your eyes, place your hands over the center of your chest, one over the other. Our last time doing this together here for this season in this year. And take a deep, full breath in and a deep breath out. And again, another full, deep breath in and a deep breath out. God, Spirit, universe, all that is, all that ever has been, and all that ever will be, we thank you. Thank you for bringing this community together for so many years now. Thank you for all those who have joined us, past, present, and who will join in the future, and even our first-timers today. Bless them, place your hands over them, and let them feel welcome and loved by this incredible community that we've built together. May every single person here listen with an open heart and an open mind so that they may receive exactly what they are meant to receive. May we use our focus and attention so that we don't get distracted and that we can be here fully present for the message that's here for us today. May all the words that are spoken be used for the benefit of all, and may we all serve our families, our communities, and the greater world with this awakening that we receive today. I'll be silent for about 60 seconds now, and go ahead and welcome in your own personal prayer, whether it's a religious prayer or an intention or anything you'd like to set. Go ahead and do that now. God, Spirit, Universe, all that is, all that ever has been, and all that ever will be, we thank you. Thank you for bringing this community together. May every word that is spoken wake us up to become more fully aligned with our highest self, with the divine that is within and living through each of us at all times. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the blessing of being able to be here at this time, to have the health and ability to be here listening at this time, and to have the privilege to be here together at this time. And may we each spread the wisdom and the lessons of what we learn here in this space out into the world, especially to those who may not be able to be in this space with us or in spaces like this at all. May just our pure energy radiate light and love and forgiveness and openness out into the world every day. And when we forget, please help us remember right away. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So it is. Ashe, Aho, Salam, Amen, Shalom, Satnam, Awen, Om. Thank you. Great Spirit, thank you for being here with us. We're so grateful. And let us dive into this teaching today, this teaching that I have been so looking forward to sharing with all of you on the power of receiving. The power of receiving. And what this is all about is how to open yourself to receiving what you really want from life. To open yourself, I want you to pay attention to the words that I'm saying here, to open yourself to receiving what you really want out of life. And so I want to start here by asking you all a simple question, just a very simple question. And I want you to type into the chat box what comes to you. What do you want to get out of this day? Just today. I don't need you to think like your whole big life. What do you want to get out of this day that we're in right now? And I want you to just pick one to three words, something simple. Make it very clear and actionable, and type them into the chat box. Okay? And so for me, the thing that I want to get out of this day, like I'm just thinking again for myself, right? I want to get out of this day having deep connection and fun and joy with my family that I'm visiting. I want energy and vitality, and I want to have fun and to play. These are some things that I want out of this day. I see Elmira wants joy. Lindsay wants alignment. Laura wants clarity. What else do y'all want? Mariana wants self-love. Beautiful. Beautiful. Mandy wants peace. Great. These are all amazing. Mary Teresa, presence, progress, and healing. Yatili, revelation and peace. Cheryl, fun, connection, and joy. So y'all can keep them coming in, okay? You can keep them coming in. And I love this one, Leonora. Relax and lower your blood pressure. This is great. So here's the deal, okay? I want to ask you all a question. And I want you to type in the answer to this question into the chat box because I want to see what you think. What is the number one way that you can activate receiving? What is the number one way? And if you heard me teach this before, don't type it in, okay? So, because what I'm going to say, the reason I've been super excited to teach this, I just taught this lesson in Bali, and it was a very powerful lesson that I taught in Bali. And as soon as I taught it in Bali, I thought I need to bring this to our entire kingdom family. So I want to know, what is it that would help activate the energy of receiving in you? Alan, be grateful for what you already have. Donna May, love and understanding. What else? Yatili, being open. Let's see what else y'all got. Letting go. Not deflecting. Drop your stories and your old beliefs. These are all great. And a few of you already got a good hint here. So I'm gonna put up some slides, and I want y'all to listen very carefully. And I'm gonna turn the music down here so you can just hear me very clearly, because this is probably the most important thing. And I'm super excited because you're gonna be able to take this with you for everything that you do throughout the rest of your life, whether it's an event, whether it's being with your family, whatever it is, this teaching today is gonna help you. So I want to talk to you about the law of receiving. Okay, and this is not something that I made up. This is in every spiritual tradition. It's in the Bible. It's in all the different books and all the Hindu traditions. It's also in every spiritual book that you can pick up. Everybody will call it different names in some way, but the foundations are exactly the same. The law of receiving. What activates the law of receiving? You think everything in the world works with these laws. Everything in the universe works with these laws. And so we talk about the law of receiving, and the law of receiving is activated by giving. Giving. Now, when I say giving, some of you are going to instantly think of giving in a certain capacity, but I want to expand your context of thinking of the idea of giving in a slightly different way. And some of you had already got this, okay, in the chat box, and I saw this, okay? So this is wonderful. Giving. And I'm going to focus on this today in a very practical, realistic way. So what I'm wanting to do today is take something that feels like a philosophical concept and really drop it down so that you can apply it directly in your life. So you can see how this works directly in your life. So let me start here. The number one tip that you can use to make sure that you activate the law of receiving is this, and I need y'all to type this into the chat box. Be responsible for giving the energy you want to receive. I'm going to say it again. Type it in, everybody. Be responsible for giving the energy you want to receive. And the reason why I say this is because it is your responsibility to get the most out of your experience of life. It's your responsibility. Oftentimes we think when you hear that, you're like, well, of course it's my responsibility, but we don't live like this all the time. We wait for someone else or something else. When this happens in my life, then I'm going to finally feel happy. When this moment happens, which is now you placing the responsibility on a moment, when this person does this, when this thing happens in my life, when my kids get out of the house, when this happens, it's placing the responsibility outside of yourself on something outside of you to get the experience that you're hoping to have in life. And as soon as we do that, we give up our responsibility, our divine responsibility of that energy of God, of the divine that is working through us, and we all of a sudden place it somewhere else and then wonder why we're not happy. So I'm going to say it again. It is your responsibility to get the most out of your experience of life. Now, you all had some words that you just came up with a few moments ago, okay? And these words, for example, I want you to write them down because we're going to come back to them. So you said you want to experience patience and peace and clarity and joy and patience and a hot date and peace and love and relax and to lower your blood pressure, Leonora, and fun and connection and joy, Cheryl. So these are all things that you wanted to, what you want to get out of life. But when we say to get something, you first have to activate that by giving. Then what we want to look at is this. How can we shift our energy from asking, what do I want to get out of life, to how can I give that same experience to others? Do y'all see that on the slide? So you ask yourself, what do I want to get? I want to get joy. I want to get peace. I want to get presence. I want to lower my blood pressure. I want to get calmness. I want to get openness. I want to get connection. I want to get a hot date. This is what I want. This is what I want, right? This is what you're saying you want. So the way to get it is to actually ask, how can I be the one who gives that experience to others? Here's another one to type in. Everybody type this in and I'm going to unpack this for you. How can you be a generator of what you want to experience from life? Instead of waiting for something to happen to you, how can you be the one who is generating the energy of this experience out into the world? How can you become responsible for being a generator of what you want to experience in life? I'm going to tell you a story so this can ground it, and I'll tell you a couple of stories about this, okay? So are y'all feeling this, okay? So put some ones in the chat box if this is making sense to you, and then I'm going to ground it right now in a couple of quick stories. So for me, and I tell this story, I told it in Bali, and I share this story very openly. So I've always known, not always, but I mean for over a decade, I've understood this law of receiving, and that the law of receiving is activated by the law of giving. And there was a period in my career, in my work, where I had been successful, but I could not pass a certain threshold. I'm going to talk about this in an abundance way, so y'all get it that it works with any kind of energy. Okay, so I'm talking to mentors, I'm talking to accountants, I'm talking to business planners, I'm getting coaching, I'm doing all these different kinds of things. And this was several years ago. This was like maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. And I was at this point where I go to my coach, I go to my CPA, I go to everybody, and I say, I don't understand what's going on. I cannot pass this certain threshold of income. It doesn't matter what I do in my business. I can create new programs. I could hire support. I do new retreats. I host more retreats. I host more events. And somehow at the end of every year, I would end up right around the same spot of money that I would have made throughout that year. And I was trying to break past what felt like a glass ceiling to me, because it was so confusing to me how I would end up in the same range every single year, no matter what I did. And then one of my mentors told me, just very clearly said, Justin, I know this is going to sound crazy because I know you're somebody who really gives, but I want you to try something different this year. This year, instead of focusing your energy on how you can make more, I want you to completely forget this year about how much you're making. And I want you to focus all of your energy, all of it, on giving more. And let's see what happens. Giving more. And this was a really important thing for me, because I was like, well, I'm already giving. I'm giving this and I'm giving that. He's like, no. You need to take this to another level. What would happen if you literally dropped the energy of trying to get anything out of this and just focus your energy on how can I serve this moment? How can I give and serve at the highest level? Now, here's the caveat which you all have to pay attention to. What most of us do is we put giving and receiving as these binaries. And we say, well, I'm going to focus on service, I'm going to focus on giving, but we close ourselves off from receiving. So you can't just because you're focused on giving doesn't mean that you don't stay open to receive, right? So you have to do both. And so I was going to focus my energy on giving, but I was going to make sure all my systems were in place so that I could receive at the highest level. I wasn't turning off my receiving. I was just activating in a different level my giving. And I had to ask the question, how can I serve the people who are coming into my community at the highest possible level? Highest possible level. And I have to tell you, the reason I'm sharing this story with you is this was hard for me. And I was shocked at how hard it was for me to turn off that thing in my mind that was saying, how do I get? I need to get more. And to go in it, there's always some shadow element at play. So for me, right, all of you know, or many of you know, who've been in this community, I didn't grow up with money, right? I grew up in a pretty rough neighborhood. I grew up without having a lot. And my mom and my family did a lot to let us have as much as we possibly could. But I didn't grow up having a lot. And so the energy for me growing up, the conditioning that was set in me growing up was you always need to get more, right? We were living paycheck to paycheck. Sometimes things were tight. We always had what we needed, but it was always a need for more. So my condition that was set for me was always more. There's always scarcity. You always need more. And so for me to turn that off, to go, I have enough. I'm open to receiving more, but I'm going to focus on giving, and not just focus on it like I'm telling myself I'm focused on giving, but I'm really focused on getting. Like, to actually focus on giving was a challenge for me. I had to do some deep shadow work to get there. And I'm telling this story to you because all of us, regardless of if your thing is about money, like I'm telling in this story, if it's about love, if it's about peace, if it's about joy or having fun or a date or whatever it is that you're wanting, you have to look at the story that's within you that is actually creating a scarcity mindset that is keeping you from being a person who could be responsible for giving it. So look at the story that's happening inside of yourself, this pattern inside of yourself, okay? Is this making sense, y'all? Is this story helping? So I'm going to tell you what happened, okay? I'm going to tell you what happened. So I was finally able to focus that energy on giving. And what I started to do that year, and the people on my team know this, is that year I started something on my website where I was giving scholarships to our programs, all of our online programs, completely free, completely for free. It was when I started my podcast to get information out there completely for free. I was like, okay, if I'm going to give, let's go. There's going to be people who pay, there's going to be people who give. I had the idea for the Stay Woke Give Back tour when my book came out. And when my book came out, I went to my publisher and I said, look, we're going to sell these books, but I also want to go to high schools and colleges in the most underprivileged neighborhoods in the United States, and I want to give them all a book. I want to do a free event for them. Let's give this book to as many people as possible. We gave away over 40,000 books, over 30,000 books. At the end of that year, at the end of that year, and I wasn't focused on it, came back thinking, okay, I probably made a little bit more money this year. We increased everything by over 300% in 1 year. 300%. And in the year that I had given the most, given away, had been giving things away. And to my surprise, we increased everything by 300%. The next year, I said, you know what? We're going to double down on this. And I gave more. And I turned my whole online business, everything that I had online that was going to people, to be under a nonprofit. Because I said, I want to be able to just give as much as we can. So I started the Dream Bigger Foundation and put everything under the foundation. That year, and my old assistant will tell you, we were shocked when we saw it. The exact amount of dollars, to the dollar sign, the single digit that we had given away for one of our programs in scholarships was the exact amount that we made in dollars for that scholarship. The amount that we gave was the exact amount for that one program that we received. So the extent to the giving ended up matching the extent of the receiving. And then, so since then, I've just fully, and I catch the energy coming back. Oh no, you have to focus on getting. And I always just remind myself of that story and focus on how can I give? And that causes me to expand. And so you have to look. And so just think about in your own life, what is it that you're looking to get? And how can you, I'm going to put it back up, how can you be a generator of that for other people in the world? And so this story I share with you, not to tell you about my financial background, because this was a really big one for me. And I've continued to focus on giving in the biggest possible way. Now, I'm not going to ask y'all, this would be a moment if y'all, this would be the moment when I pass around, like the giving bucket or whatever. I'm not actually about to do that at all, because the kingdom has always been something, that we don't do that here. However, what I do want to share with you is that I want you to make this practical in your life. I want us to see how you can make this very practical in your own life. So, how can you be a generator of what you want to experience from life? How can you focus on giving while staying open to receiving that which you want? I'm going to tell you one more story because the stories I think really help ground this, and this will be a very practical, in a very practical way. Okay, so there was a woman, I won't say her name, who came into one of our programs, and she talked about this in a pretty big way. And what she kept saying was, I want to experience more joy in my life. I want to experience more joy in my life. Joy, joy, joy. She just wanted to experience joy. But when you looked at her and you even were in a room with her or watched her, she was like pretty depressive, like really quiet, like always kind of like this, kind of sad all the time. If she was in conversation with people, she was one of those that was kind of like, yeah, things are good. My life's okay. She was one of these kind of people. And so she was saying again and again, I just want to experience joy. I want to experience more joy. And so I went up and talked to her and I said, I want to give you an experiment. We were together at an event. I said, I want to give you a little experiment. Instead of you waiting for something that you don't even know what it is to happen to you so that you could finally experience joy, what if you go out and make every single person that you're in contact with today joyful? I want you to just see what happens. Forget about waiting for something to help you experience joy. I want everybody you come in contact with, and we were at a retreat center. I want the chefs, the cooks, the cleaning people, everyone at this retreat, every time you're in a breakout room, just for this one day, I want you to be responsible for giving them joy and then report back to me tomorrow what happens. So she goes around, and I was kind of watching her throughout the day. And I told her, you have to make this very practical. And at first, she was very confused about it. She was like, what do you mean give people joy? And so I'm going to ask you all in the chat box here, okay, just so we can make this practical together. Based on this story, if this woman was asking you, so you have to imagine she's at a retreat center where they serve you food. There's a lot of people around. We're in a workshop. And she's asking, how do I give people joy? How do I become responsible for bringing joy to the world? Tell me some ideas in the chat box on what you would tell her. And I don't want this to be hypothetical. Well, of course it's hypothetical, it's a question. I don't want this to be philosophical. I want this to be practical. So an idea that I gave her, for example, was when she goes into the dining hall, they would always be playing music. And what I want her to do is when she walks in and she's getting her food down the line, I want her to dance a little bit and just smile and say thank you to all the people who were serving her food and dance a little bit. Okay? Bringing joy, right? Laura says, compliment the chef. Yeah, Laura. Cheryl, give compliments, say a kind thing to someone, laugh with them, smile with love, smile at everyone, acknowledge them, show appreciation, dance, say a kind word, fake it till you make it, you compliment them, let your inner child shine. So these are great. These are really good. But to make this work in your life, you got to make this stuff so practical, right? So I told her, for example, when you get into a breakout group with people and we're in the retreat, I want you to tell a joke or say something funny to somebody. Try to say something funny that makes people laugh. When you walk out into on one of the breaks, grab a couple people and ask them if they want to go on an awe walk with you, looking at all the nature and the flowers that were at this retreat center, right? So I'm talking practical, 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 practical. You have to make this real. So she went about, I gave her these ideas. She goes about it on her experiment, and she is just spreading joy. The next day, she comes in the room crying. And she said, y'all will never believe this, but I felt more joy yesterday, and I woke up today feeling more joy than I can remember feeling since I was a little girl. All because she focused her energy on being responsible for being a generator of what she wanted to experience in the world. Instantly, that thing she was moping around and waiting for was immediately available to her. Immediately available to her. Because in order for you to give joy to someone, in order for you to give peace to a moment or an experience, in order for you to give whatever it is, clarity to someone else, you have to first feel that energy move through you to then go out into the world. So just by you generating it, you're generating it from within yourself, and it activates that experience within you. And right there, you have activated the law of receiving. This is the key to experiencing what you want from life, not waiting for some external thing to happen to you, for this fleeting moment to appear, but instead for you to be the generator of what it is you want to experience. Now, let me talk for a moment about all of y'all who are out there. I don't have this problem, but I know that there are many people who have this problem, and there's no judgment here. I have other problems, right? But those of you who are over givers, who give too much, okay? And I know some of you are thinking it here, and somebody typed it into the chat box already. What about if you're a person who's always giving, always giving, always giving, always giving, always giving, and you give too much, and you're trying to focus your energy back in on yourself? Y'all have any ideas here? Type something in the chat box on what I'm going to say next. What is my advice to those of you who are giving too much? Okay, so I see it. Here is the number one tip. Oh, my mom's here. She's just in the other room. So here is what I got for you, okay? What you have to do, it's not giving to yourself first. It's not finding the balance. It's not even just keep giving. There is a line you have to ask. And this is something that I ask for, is a line that I ask for many things in my life. And it's something that I got from Brenda Rose, okay? From Brenda Rose. The question is, you want to type this in because I don't have a slide for it. The question is, what is in the highest good, comma, harm to none? What is in the highest good, comma, harm to none? Yes, Renee, this is about boundaries. Somebody type that in there. What's in the highest good, harm to none? And what that means is what in this situation is in the highest good in how you're giving, but creates harm to no one. And by none, harm to none, none includes you. None includes you. So that means if I'm giving and it is harming me, then I'm actually not giving anymore. I'm taking from myself, and that's not what I'm asking you to do. It's about harm to none, and you are included in that none. Because here's what happens for those overgivers, those of you who are overgivers out there. People who overgive pretend to be altruistic, okay? And this is all shadow. I'm saying this with great love because we all have shadow elements that show up in our lives. This is just not one that I have in this way. I've had to actually work to be more giving. And that's just because I have like all the things, like I'm the oldest child, I have all those stereotypes. They're true for me, okay? And now I've gotten really good at giving. But for people who have to give, who give too much, oftentimes what I find is that the shadow that's at play is they're giving because they want to feel valued or validated through that giving. And if that's the case, you're not giving, you're taking. You're over giving and depleting yourself so that someone else can see you as valuable. And in that way, you're not giving anything because the other person can feel that energy of you taking. And so that's not what I'm talking about. We're talking about giving in the purest form, which is only of benefit to everyone involved, and that includes you. So this is the key. And this is for us to be really clear with ourselves of why are we doing what we're doing. Now, the last thing that I'll say here about this as it relates to, the last thing that I'll say here about this as it relates to giving is you don't give so that you can receive, right? You don't go, you know what, I'm gonna start giving because I want to receive more, right? You do, like I said in the story, you give for the sake of giving, and you make sure that your arms are open at the same time to receive, that you've set yourself up to be able to receive. So just like me in the story that I told, like when I opened up our nonprofit, that was me. I was still focused on giving, but I set up the systems, even with the government, to make sure that we could receive. Okay, so you want in your own energetic way to make sure that you're still open to receiving. You're not closed off from receiving just because you're giving. You got to watch this either or. Okay, so this is really important. If you're giving and it is harming you, you're not giving, you're taking from yourself. And if you're giving and over giving, it's just going to build up resentment and all kinds of stuff. And that's never giving. Highest good, okay, for the benefit of all. All right, so now that we have this teaching in place, y'all like this one? This is a really powerful one for me because you can use this anywhere in your life, anywhere you go. How can you be a generator of what you want to experience from life? Go from what do I want to get out of life for this moment to how can I give that experience to others? It is an instant trick. It's instant to get what you want out of your experience of life. Now, when I say you can use this anywhere, I want you to just think about, you can go to a family dinner. You can go out with your friends. You can go to a retreat. You can go to the grocery store. You can be sitting at home by yourself. You can have any moment, and ask yourself this question. You can be in any moment and decide to remember that you are responsible for receiving what you want out of life. You are responsible for getting what you want out of life. You don't have to wait for anything. You show up and give it. And so the next time you go somewhere, the next time you do something, just ask yourself the question. And then you have to be very clear. How are you going to show up and give that to somebody? To everyone. Because you don't know where the receiving is going to come in. It's not, I'm just going to bring joy to just this person. Because you don't know where the receiving is going to come in. When we're at retreat centers and things like this, I say, don't just say, I want to experience joy and give joy just to the people in this retreat. Give it to the people doing the gardening. Give it to the people at the front desk. Give it to the people cooking, because you don't know where the blessing is coming back at you from. Give the experience everywhere, freely, like a ray of light, the sun just shining out, does not discriminate where its light goes. Flowers don't discriminate where its beautiful scent goes. You give freely, okay? So this is really important. Now, I want to go back to the question that I asked you in the very first opening part of our session. But this time, I want you to answer it from a deeper place. Yes, Evie, no selective giving. Place your hands over the center of your chest. Close your eyes. Go ahead and close your eyes. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And again, another deep breath in and a deep breath out. And just with your eyes closed, if you're comfortable, you can always open them if you need to, if you want to. I'm going to ask you a couple questions, and I want you to just see what comes up for you. Don't feel the need to type it in right away. Just let it kind of percolate in your mind. First question. What do you want to get out of this day? This day that we're in right now, currently, what do you want to get? Now, I want you to think in a very practical way. Practical. How can you give that experience to the world today? Depending on what you're doing, where you're going, which are where you're actually going to be, not hypothetical, just like where you're really going to be in your day. How can you be a generator of giving that experience to the world today? Think of some practical ways, and then type them into the chat box. Type in the energy you want to get, and type in how you are going to be a generator of that experience. So this was a practice round. We're going to do another one in a second, but I want to see what y'all type in. So for me, for example, I want to, I'm here with my family for a really short time, very special moment. I'm here in Alabama for my cousin's wedding, and I have just a couple hours with them when I get off of here. And what I'm wanting to get is just connection, deep connection, and loving fun time with my family. And so the way that I'm going to be one to give that is to make sure I'm not on my phone and working when I go back out and hang out with them. And I'm going to actually show up fully present. Great. I love this. So I want y'all, I'm watching these come in, and they're too generic. I need this to be direct. If you're going to the grocery store today and you're going to do this, or if you're going to talk to somebody on the phone today, this is how you're going to do it. You want to be practical. Otherwise this doesn't work. Okay? I love this. Mandy has a great one. Relaxation, pool hang, nature walk, cozy blankets with candles, clean the house to reset the relaxation in the house while listening to calm music. Right? Great, Evie. These are great. So these are coming in a little bit more specific. This is what I want to see. Yep. Great. Care. Mariana says care. And she said, I will call and text 2 people that I care about. Yep. This is great. Y'all are getting it. Okay. So you see how this works and why I'm kind of pushing you all to be very specific, not just I'm going to smile today. It's okay. You're going to forget that as soon as you hang up this. How can you be really practical and specific with what you're doing? This is how it works. So these are beautiful. Okay, Justine, I'm giving my knowledge to my students and hearing their needs and listening. So, all right. So that was a practice round. And now I want to do something special. I want to bring somebody up here to workshop this with me. And you're going to see in real time how we workshop this. So I'm going to put a link in the chat box. I'm only going to bring 1 person up. Maybe we'll bring 2. And if you open this link and come up and chat with me, then what you have to remember is that you have to close out the other window, because otherwise you're going to hear me twice and it's going to create a really crazy echo. So I'm going to put the link in the chat, and all you have to do is click on it, and you get to join me live up here, and we're going to workshop this together. All right, so I'm going to wait for somebody to come in here. And while we're doing this, if you're going to be the person who comes in, make sure you have a good internet connection and your background is not noisy. All right? And I will bring you on up. So, and then we're going to do another practice, all of us together. Okay, we'll do another practice, all of us together. I'm going to wait for whoever it is to come in. You just click the link. Don't be scared. Okay. Barbie and Selena. Okay, great. So I got my 2. Hold on a second. All right. Hold on. Okay, so I'm going to add Barbie. Hello. Can you hear me? Hi, Barbie.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Hi.
Good to see you. Where are you coming in from?
Oh,
It's
I'm
good to
so
see your
excited.
face. Hi.
I'm in Massachusetts.
You're in Massachusetts. Welcome, welcome. So I'm gonna bring you up, and then I'm also gonna bring up Selena. Let's see if I can add Selena in. Selena, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you okay.
Can
Your
you hear me?
internet seems a little bit choppy, so we might have to.
I'm I'm in Tahiti, so
Ah, great. Okay, it's working better now. You're in Tahiti. That's fun, Selena. Okay, so I'm
yeah.
gonna just close Tina and Evie out because we have our two. Okay, so here we go. Y'all can hear me okay? It's not echoing or anything?
Yep.
No.
Okay, great. So perfect. Welcome, Barbie. It's so good to see your faces. So, Barbie, I'm gonna ask you here first. What is it that you're wanting to experience from your day?
Mm. Well, I'm a little lonely and a little low energy.
Okay. And so what are you wanting?
I want to be with, well, I want to get some energy to go out and be with people, I guess.
Okay.
I want to have connection with real people.
Connection.
Not
You're
that you're
looking.
not real.
No, I get it. Yeah, I got it in the physical form. So you're wanting connection. I'm hearing connection and energy. Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else in the chat box looking for connection and energy? And everybody in the chat box is loving up on y'all right now. So Selena, how about you? What are you wanting today?
Yeah, so I've been in Tahiti for the last 5 days ago. I had my phone and my wallet and all my money and credit cards all stolen. And so I've been kind of scared and like I wasn't sure how I was gonna eat and like so I want to not be living in fear. And I've noticed that I'm closed, like I feel closed towards people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so
Mm.
I
I'm
think I
sending you
want to
so much love,
bring,
Selena. I'm sorry that happened to you. That is no fun while
yeah.
traveling. That is no fun. So I want to ask you because a couple of you have done, and this is a really good teaching, Selena, a really good moment. So what a lot of us do, and other people did this in the chat box. I want everybody to pay attention to this. When I'm asking, what do you want to experience? I don't want to hear what you don't want to experience, right? So, Selena, what you said is, I want to not be living in fear, right? And so that's just going to bring up more fear. And
Right.
so, and other people did this in the chat box too. Like, I want to not have this, or I want to not have that. So, what is it that you do want? What is the energy that you do want?
So
What's
it's like this, like that's what I was saying at the end. I want to be like open because I can feel that like closing.
yeah,
I really want to be open to people because I'm like around these beautiful people.
yeah. You want to experience more openness. Okay, so this is good. So we have energy and connection from Barbie and openness. Openness. We're just going to go from there to be open for Selena. Okay, great. So we're working with this on this day. So those of you in the chat box, I know y'all can't see it right now, but everybody in the chat box, I want you to type in some ideas just straight up, and I'm going to read it to them for Barbie and Selena on how they can, and be specific on who you're talking to in the chat so I can know who to send it to, on how they can be either more open, if it's Selena, while she's there on her trip in Tahiti. Is that where you are, Selena? I think you said. Yeah. And
Hmm.
Barbie to be more energized or have more energy and have more connection. Barbie, what's your plan for today? What do you have on deck today with your schedule?
Well, I was gonna go for a walk,
Mm-hmm.
which is, I mean, I'm I don't really have a lot of friends here, and my family's not here, so I'm lonely, and I just go on a walk and usually listen to music or
Great.
you.
Nope, I got it. I got it. I have some ideas for you. Don't worry. You're not. I'm just waiting to see what the community says here. So this is going to be really good example. Selena, what do you have going today?
I'm just on an island called Rangiroa, and I'm going to be here for most of the day. I don't have any plan.
Okay, great.
I was actually trying to formulate a plan of like being really open. How was I going to do that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now I want to take this into one bigger level. Okay, and I'm seeing the all the ideas come in the chat box. I'm going to read them to you and bring some of them forward in a moment. But I want us all together, including everybody at home just listening who's not on the screen. I want you all, everybody here who's here, just place your hands over your heart, close your eyes for a second. Everybody, everybody. And take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And again, another deep breath in and a deep breath out. And I'm going to ask you another question. We're going to expand this bigger than just this day. Here's the question. What do you want to get out of life at this time? Not just today, out of life. What is it that you're really wanting to get out of life at this time? Just listen inward and see what comes up. And then how can you be responsible for giving that, for being a generator of that? Think of some practical ways right now in your life. Okay, and take a breath in and a breath out. And let's hear from y'all. Selena, what do you got?
I got that this is definitely a version of what I want in my life, you know. I think that it's part of the reason why it happened, really.
Say more.
I just think that I want to be connected and and open to people, but I like have some fear from just like stuff that's happened. And when you were saying you don't get to select the people that you're, you know, open, that is like what I do is like, okay, you hurt me, so like I'm not going to be open to you. And like you don't know. You said you don't know where that connection is coming from.
Yeah.
So this is just a broad, I mean, it's a small picture of something that is already a theme.
Yeah, Selena, you're getting so much love in the chat box right now too, by the way, and I'm loving you too. And you know, I think the thing that you are, you know, there's always a lesson that we're trying to learn, right? And it's this staying open. And also, and you know this, it's okay to have boundaries too, right? So it's not like we need to be totally open to everyone all the time, especially if there's somebody causing us harm. But there is an energy of like, there's something that happens that causes you to close, and what you're wanting is more openness in your life. So you don't want to close to everyone, right? Because something happened. Have you been able to reach out, Selena, and ask for support at this time? Like, are you?
Yeah, so I brought my laptop, which I never do.
Yeah.
And so I was at least able to connect with like some people, but I just lost like all my information, so I like can't log into anything except for like my email. So, but yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad. So you're safe, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And thank you. And Selena, I'm going to come back to you on this too. And Barbie, talk to me. What are you wanting to experience in that broader picture from life? What are you wanting?
Well, I've been really sick for the last 5 years, and I'm coming out of it really, really sick. And I've had a lot of poverty and a lot of loneliness, and I've taken jobs just to have a job. I want a heart job. I used to be a teacher and a social worker and an actress, and I had jobs that filled my heart. And now I can't. I don't have any job at all, and I don't have any. I feel like I don't have any purpose. So I want to find something that's connecting me. That I have a lot of skills and life experience that I can give to somebody, and lots of people like I used to, and just not finding that. I don't know how.
I'm sending you so much love, Barbie. This whole community is. I'm so happy the two of you came up here today because this is exactly who needed to be here today. What a gift that you all called in to be supported and loved. And I'm gonna just speak to these, okay, in a little bit of a practical way for you, if that's okay. Okay. I'm holding this all very tenderly in the heart space, but I'm also going to just speak to it just like very directly to help see if we can pierce through a little opening here. So I want to start with you, Barbie, and the energy that you're talking about with um, having something that fills your heart, a job that fills your heart. You both have a little connection here on I don't know if all of you listening can hear the connection of what's happening here, but there's an opening. There's a heart opening that's looking to happen for both of them here in this space. So it's beautiful that you're here together. And so the invitation that I see, and you'll have to feel into this to see if this feels right for you, Barbie, and really for both of you, but Barbie, reminds me of, for me, I was saying on and on and on, very different scenario, but I had been saying this a couple of years ago, that I really was lonely and I wanted to experience love. Love, love, love. I just wanted love, right? And so I remember going to this teaching and one of my mentors telling me, okay, how can you be a generator of that? Why are you waiting for some man to pop into your life and for you to experience love? You're not going to be able to experience love even when they come in because you're not being a generator. You're not taking responsibility for it. I'm telling you this version of it using my story so that you can see it clearly, and then I'm going to, pass it back on to you. So what I started to do was I started to say, okay, if I need to be a generator of the energy of love, what do I need to do? I need to make sure I'm spending time, whether it's over the phone or in person, with people that I love. I need to be listening to music that I love. I need to be eating foods that I love. I need to be watching TV shows and movies that I love. I need to be inviting people and telling them how much I love them and expressing to people how much I love them and not closing that off because I'm now being responsible for generating the energy of love around me so that that frequency can find me. So this is where people talk oftentimes about like manifestation or the law of attraction or all these kinds of different things, the law of vibration, and they're all amazing names. But what it's talking about is you have to be vibrating or operating at a certain frequency for what you want to come match and find you. And so for me, I needed to be in the energy of love for love to be able to come find me. I can't be sitting here in, oh, I just hope love comes one day. One day it's going to come, thinking that somebody who's loving is just going to all of a sudden pop in because guess what? They want to experience love too, right? So I can't just be waiting for somebody to give that to me. I need to be generating the experience around me in a more general sense. So that's why I'm talking about the energy for both of you that you want to cultivate. It's not just to this one specific thing. It's not like, oh, I wanted to experience romantic love, so I need to go, I don't know, on dates or something like that. Like that's being too specific. You want to open up and experience the energy of and be responsible for generating the energy of love around you in all things. And so for you, Barbie, is this making sense, first of all? Yeah, what I'm saying. So for you, Barbie, when you're talking about, I want a job that is that fills up my heart, right? That opens up the energy in my heart. So what you want to do is start now first doing things in your life, just in your life in general, that fill up your heart and going and volunteering your time and energy in places where you can help fill other people's hearts. This is what you have to do. This is going to pull you out of this energy. And right away, you're not going to feel as lonely anymore. With your thing today of wanting to feel connected to people, right? It's not just, oh, let me go on a walk and like talk to a random person who's there. I mean, you could do that, but you could go on your walk and first of all, you can invite somebody to go on a walk with you if you wanted. That's a general example. Or on your walk, think of somebody who you want to feel more connected to and call them on your walk and have a meaningful conversation. Not just, oh, hi, how are you doing? You could actually share with them, I've been really deeply wanting more connection in my life, and you're somebody who I've wanted to connect with more deeply. I'm on a walk. I don't want love to talk to you for 20 or 30 minutes. And just see where that conversation goes. And now you have that connection and you have generated it. You have invited them into a space of connection. And if you keep taking responsibility for that day after day of doing things that fill up your heart, of creating spaces of connection with people around you, you're going to watch this shift. You say you don't have family around you, you don't have people around you. How can you, and I get it. I understand, I don't live anywhere near my family or anything either. How can you be somebody who's responsible for creating a space where people feel safe to come? Inviting people into your space or to a park or something like that to connect, even if you don't know them that well, to create spaces of connection. It feels vulnerable, but this is the trick. Okay? This is the trick. Is that helpful, Barbie?
Yes, thank you.
Does it resonate with you? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great. Okay, and Selena, I think you probably took quite a bit from what I just shared with Barbie because there's a connection point here, right? But for you, it's very, very simple. And I think I could be very practical here. I need you to go out today and make sure you're not alone. I need you to go somewhere today in Tahiti where there are people around, and I need you to strike up an open, vulnerable conversation with a couple people that are around you today. You can tell them about what happened to you, not in a way that you're dumping it on them, but just you can tell them about what happened and just open up and ask them about their life maybe first, and ask some deep questions, some interesting questions. Go sit at a bar or something by yourself, but don't go sit way off to the side. Go sit by somebody. Maybe go ask them, can I sit next to you? I'm here, I'm by myself, whatever I'm doing. And you may have to fake it for a moment to just feel that openness. But again, it's not about you trying to feel open. That's about receiving. You're going to give to that person. And so you're not worrying about, oh, do I feel open? You are going to actually just be open to listen to the other person, to hear, to ask questions. This is going to crack your heart wide open again. Right? And you're going to see the good in humanity, the good in people, the good in life. This would be my number one recommendation for you today. And this was going to teach you that in the moments where you feel shut down, the medicine is actually connection every time. Okay? Is that helpful, Selena?
Mhm.
Great. Can you do it?
I'm not sure at the very moment, just because there's very few people here. It's a very small island, but we'll see. I mean,
There's
there could be
somebody.
enough people somewhere.
There's
Yeah, for
somebody.
sure.
There's somebody. Don't
Yeah.
run that story. There's somebody who would
It,
be blessed to have a loving, deep conversation with somebody as wonderful as you today. It doesn't matter who it is. I don't care if it's the person who comes to clean the room where you're staying. I don't care if it's the person at the front desk where you're staying. I don't care if it's somebody sitting outside at a park. Try this today and watch how, if you be vulnerable and if you take the courage to show up and give someone the energy of openness, you're going to see how this blesses you tenfold. So please try it. Okay?
okay.
All right?
Yeah.
All right. I want both of y'all to check in with me tomorrow and let me know how this goes. All right? Either on social media or on my email.
Okay.
Everybody listening, okay, we're going to keep them. Well, first, let's just say thank you and big blessings to Barbie and Selena. And I want to thank you both so
Thank
much for
you.
coming on today, okay? When you close out, you're going to want to go back to your old link to open up so you can watch the very end of our session today, okay? Thank you for
Thank
being
you
so
so
vulnerable with
much.
us. Yes, and you'll scroll up in the chat and you'll be able to see actually all the comments from people with ideas they gave you. I'm not going to take time to read them all now. There's tons of great ideas. I know I said I would, but I think it's better if you read them. All right?
Thank you so
y'all.
much.
Thank y'all. Love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Okay, y'all. Hands over your hearts. Close your eyes. Everybody. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And I want you to think about what was your golden nugget or key takeaway from that whole moment with Selena and Barbie. Everybody's going through something and we get to see and witness that vulnerability. What did you personally take from that experience of them sharing? Because I know you got something out of it. What was it? Be specific. And then open your eyes and type that into the chat box so we can see that golden nugget. And then I want all of you to think about this in your own life, okay? In your own life. What is it that you are hoping to get out of life? And how can you be responsible for generating that experience? Keep your eye on that prize. What are you wanting to receive more of out of life? And how can you be responsible for generating that experience? This is the power of receiving. This is the power of receiving. So as we end our practice today, this has been a very interactive practice. I'm going to ask you one more time to place your hands over the center of your chest and close your eyes. Take a breath in and a breath out. And just ask yourself one more time, now that you have all of this, what are you wanting to experience or get out of life? Be specific. And now, how can you be a generator of that experience out in the world? Be specific. And finally, what is your golden nugget or key takeaway from this entire session? Go ahead and take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Again, another deep breath in and a deep breath out. And when you're ready, I invite you to open your eyes and go ahead and type into the chat box what you want, what you're going to do about it to be responsible, and what your key takeaways are from this session. What an absolute gift to be together, you all. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. And I know that when you tap in to the power of giving, you will receive even more than you could have ever imagined getting out of life. This is how we experience the great gift, the great magic, and the great mystery of this thing called life. So give freely without holding back. Give the energy without holding back. Generate that energy so that the matching energy can come back and find you. And when it comes, have open arms ready to receive. I see some of you here. Selena, open connect for others. You're going to integrate this daily in your intention setting. Marcus, authentic expression through an openness of connection and consistent action, love and attention, peace, unconditional love, and financial security. Tina, give what is in the highest good, harm to none. Amen. All right, everyone. I know some of you joined late today, so I'm just going to remind us here at the Kingdom that this is our final live session of the Kingdom for this season, for this year. We're starting again in the new year with some new surprises in store. And Soul Study is continuing weekly on Wednesdays, so make sure you go sign up for Soul Study. And also the Kingdom Book Club will be continuing as well. So you'll have plenty of Kingdom to go around. And we, of course, have all the replays up and available to you from all of our previous sessions. We're just going in and incubating a little bit after this season of the Kingdom to see how we're going to come back and serve you in an even bigger and better way in this coming year. I'm going to close out this session today with one of my favorite songs that I wrote called Shit Gets Better. Also, It Gets Better. Because no matter what is going on in your life, no matter what is happening in your life, it continues to get better. And it gets better faster when you focus your energy on giving. That is how we activate the power of receiving. I love you all so much. We rise together, and this is It Gets Better. I'm going to come back for our closing prayer at the very end. You know, Shit Gets Better is a lot of people's favorite song in my show, and it is the most fun to perform. It's where everyone's dancing and singing and shouting and singing along and just remembering that no matter what we go through, no matter who we are, no matter who we love, that we're gonna go through stuff in our lives. Doesn't matter how much we work on ourselves, we're gonna go through stuff in our lives. But it gets better.
When everything is on top of me and I feel I cannot breathe, my glass is empty, I need a drink, a shot of sobriety. And when the night gets darker, so black is torture. And when the fight gets harder, we must get stronger. Hey, ha, ha, ha. No, it ain't seen nothing. Shit gets better. It ain't seen nothing. It ain't seen nothing. Shit gets better. It ain't seen nothing. When I am spiraling endlessly and lost in uncertainty, the fog is thick and I cannot see. Sanity has abandoned me. Oh, when the night gets darker, so black is torture. And when the fight gets harder, we must get stronger. Hey, ha, ha, ha. It ain't seen nothing. Shit gets better. It ain't seen nothing. It ain't seen nothing. Shit gets better. It ain't seen nothing. Ain't seen nothing. Ain't seen nothing. Are you ready? So get right out your head. Say get right out your head. Say get right out your head. Say get right out your head. That's right. Say get right out your head. Say get right out your head. Come on. Get right out your head. Say 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 get right out your head. Come on. Ain't seen nothing. Shit gets better. Ain't seen nothing. Ain't seen nothing. Shit gets better. Ain't seen nothing. Ain't seen nothing. Shit gets better. Ain't seen nothing. Ain't seen nothing. Shit gets better. Ain't seen nothing. Ain't seen Thank you,
Yeah! Ain't seen nothing. Ain't seen nothing. It gets better. Ain't seen nothing. Ain't seen nothing. It gets better. Ain't seen nothing. All right, everyone. let us close out with our closing blessing together. You can place your hands over the center of your chest, close your eyes. God, Spirit, Universe, all that is, all that ever has been, and all that ever will be, by every name you go by, we thank you. Thank you for this incredible community of uplifting spirits that continue to come together and support each other. Thank you for our guests who came to share with us today with their open hearts. May every single person here feel blessed and feel joy, remembering that we are responsible for giving the energy that we want to experience to the world. May these teachings just anchor and lock right into our hearts so that we can live them fully and help make this world a better place for all. So it is. Ashe, Aho, Salam, Amen, Shalom, Satnam, Awen, Om, and thank you. I love you all dearly. We rise together. And as we say, ain't seen nothing, shit gets better. Ain't seen nothing, I'll see you all soon, because you ain't seen nothing yet for the kingdom, because it's going to get way better in 2023. I love you all. We rise together. Bye for now. Mwah.